Good evening and welcome to Adult Conversations on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. How are you? I hope your day has been lovely. I hope your day has been going very well. I welcome you to Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and discuss matters relating to the heart. Here on Adult Conversations, you contribute on the subject matter without judging. Adult Conversations on Women Radio currently runs every Monday through Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. because we are here to break the culture of silence. So if you have a story that you want us to bring to the family of Adult Conversations, please by all means send in your story to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. Send in your story to this number along with your name and contact telephone number, just in case we need to call you to ask further questions. Again, we are here to break the culture of silence. Tonight on Adult Conversations. My name is Philip. I got married last year, September, and my marriage has been going well. My wife got pregnant and was bleeding during the pregnancy, and we were told that she would have to deliver through C-section. I invited my mother-in-law to come live with us to take care of my wife, as I was usually busy. She did this and stayed even after the baby came. Then for some reason, she would create issues between us, calling me incapable of taking care of her daughter and herself. And in all this, my wife would not defend me, which would also cause issues between us. One day, I came home to find her gone with my wife and child. It's been 1 week and my family thinks I should not go bring them back home. So, what should I do at this point? What should I do at this point? That is Philip's story, and Philip is basically saying that he got married last year, September, and his marriage has actually been going well. His wife got pregnant and she was bleeding during the pregnancy, after which they were told that she would have to deliver through a cesarean section. Philip invited his mother-in-law to come home to take care of his wife, as he was usually busy with work and all of that. She came over, stayed during the pregnancy, and even after the baby came. Then out of the blue, she suddenly started acting funny, and she would create issues between Philip and his wife, calling him incapable of taking care of her daughter and herself. That's the mother-in-law herself. And in all of these, she would just act funny, and his wife would not defend her. Philip's wife would not speak against her mother, and this will cause issues between them in the marriage. Now, one day, Philip came home to find his wife and his child gone. And it's been 1 week, and Philip is saying Philip's family does not think that he should go bring them back home. His family doesn't think he should go. He should be the one going to find them. His family expects that they would return because the wife would speak and they would return. But his family doesn't think that he should be the one going to bring them back home. So Philip is saying he doesn't know what to do and he needs advice. The number to call tonight to advise Philip is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in your text or WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. The phone lines are open, so please call in and give advice to Philip tonight. Remember that when you call, ensure not to make a fuss of the phone lines. Please, when you call in, remember to turn down the volume of your radio. This is extremely important so that we can hear you clearly when you call in. Also, if you're interested in joining the Adult Conversations Family Group chat, please send in your name and contact number on WhatsApp. Send in your name and contact number on WhatsApp so that you'll be added on. In case interest in joining the WhatsApp group, and you'll be added on by the producer, send your name and contact number via WhatsApp to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. I'll read this message coming in, and this message basically is the first message off of the WhatsApp group. So please go ahead and send in your messages so that we can read them. You didn't put your name or your location. Please put your name and location so that we can read your message. Please put your name and location so that we can read your message. Thank you very much. But the message basically says, Bro Philip, welcome, sir. What kind of marriage did you do? Find time to see your father-in-law. Seek the attention of your mother-in-law's pastor. And finally, look for her and have a statement that she was kidnapped by her mother. And show you have a proof of her whereabouts because of tomorrow. You get why you. Please don't fail in sending money for your child's upkeep and your wife according to what you can afford. Don't fail to send her upkeep money. After all these steps, keep calling and sending chats to your wife, asking why she left the house and telling her that you want her back home. All of this will be your evidence tomorrow in case you file in court. Sorry for the hurt though, but it is what it is. Stay strong. And that's what that message says. What are your thoughts tonight? What are your thoughts on the story, and what do you think that can be done to make this a better situation for Philip? What do you think that Philip can do in this situation? Kindly call back if you can. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Young.
Hello, Young. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm all right. Thank you very much. My weekend was good. Thank you so much. I hope you had a good weekend too.
Yes, I did.
Wonderful.
Also.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
The thing is in two ways, because I don't know even how to, because as I was trying to call, another thought was coming into my mind, contrary to what I wanted to say before, but all the same, maybe I'll give him the two ways and let him choose as usual. You know, I always advise that you make your choice.
Of course.
He did not drive his wife home away, rather.
Mm-hmm.
The woman, in the first place, was responsible for what the mother was doing to the husband. Because if she did not tell her mother things, the mother wouldn't have any ground to accuse the husband of incapable of taking care of the wife. So she gave the mother the room to say. In fact, the mother voiced what she had in her mind before now. That's just the truth. So if I were in his shoes, I would just let them be. I would let them be until whenever she decides to come back, she will come back. On a second thought, I would suggest he goes to the police, to the human rights. I think the human rights now department and welfare department of the Nigerian police. welfare department of Nigerian police and make an entry and make sure it is documented. Tell them everything about the situation.
Okay.
If he said that he was not beating the wife and they were not fighting over this, that's another thing. So if he just that you went to work and they just packed everything and go to the Human Rights Welfare Department of the Nigerian Police and report the matter and let them be. Just in case anything happens. Just in case. Because when I'm saying this, I have a friend to my friend that something like this happened to. Just because she was not having any child and the parents took her away and he pleaded and did everything he could until when the wife now died. They begin to call the young man, your wife is dead. And he's now accusing them, what happened to my wife? So it's becoming complicated there. So let him just go to the welfare department of the police and report the matter and just let them be. So just in case anything happens, so that he will not have the accused of driving the woman and the baby home, or accused of abandoning his own responsibilities. So these are the two ways that will, first, if he doesn't want to, just let them be. But on the second thought, like I said, to avoid issues, let him just go to the welfare and after having done that, let him relax. Whenever they want, they will come back.
But the baby is just born. Oh. Their child is very young. Their child is a newborn, literally.
She is capable of taking care of the child. She is capable of taking care of the child. Whenever the child grows, he or she will look for the father. The child will look for the father. And at the point, if they don't, he has the right, after having reported this issue to the police, whenever he wants his baby, he will go for it. That's the truth.
All right.
Whenever he wants his baby, he will go for it and he will get his baby. He's not the one that drove them away. He did not abandon his family. Yeah. So the woman felt that she felt whatever she felt, and she is responsible for what the mother was doing to their marriage. It's just that she had the opportunity of bringing the mother home, and the mother used her own voice to speak on behalf of the daughter. It's the woman that was responsible, not the mother-in-law. So whenever she wants to come back home, let her come, bring the child.
All right. Thank you very much, Young. Thank you for calling. All right. So Young is basically saying that there are some things that he can do, which is one of them would be to visit the welfare department of the police force and make a complaint. Fill in all the forms, just respond in the way that they would instruct him to. And he's saying this because this happened to somebody close to him. And that situation did not pan out well, because eventually when they took his wife away and the wife actually passed, she died, and then they were calling him after to come and take care of certain things. And he's wondering, you people practically took my wife away and then she died in your arms. So why am I the one to be responsible for this? Why am I the one to have to pay for anything? Why am I the one that you are calling at this point? So he's saying that in case anything goes on in the future, it will be recorded with the police that this is something that was actually spoken about. This is something that was recorded, and then he would be exonerated if anything happens to the family. And he's also saying that if anything does happen, he would be able to say, okay, I put in a report, I filed a report, and this is what I did concerning this. And then he's also adding that you can still go look after your child, you can still go get your child, or you can still go finding your child. At least it is be said that you took that extra step to know what was going on. So it's not an easy situation at the moment. It really is not. It's very complicated. It's extremely complicated, as a matter of fact, because this is his mother-in-law that is doing this. Bear in mind that his mother-in-law was actually the person who was very much in support of this marriage. Very much in support of this marriage. She practically acted as father and mother when they were getting married. So where this is coming from, Philip doesn't really know. But he just knows that this is something that's going on, and he doesn't appreciate it, particularly because his wife and child are now gone from the house. So what is he supposed to do at this point? A lot of people will say, oh, this is a family situation. But how best can he approach this in a way that would give him back his family at the end of the day? This is what he needs. He needs that advice from you tonight because he wants his family back. But his own family, he wants his wife and child back. But his family is advising him against going to get his family. So, what would you suggest that he do at this point? What would you suggest that is the best course of action for Philip right now? The number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. What is your advice for Philip? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for calling. What's your name, please?
My name is Desmond. I'm calling you from Ocho.
Desmond from Ojo. All right, please go ahead.
Please, I'm very sorry. I didn't really get the storyline. I just joined from the last caller. So if you can just recap a little bit.
All right, Desmond, this is basically the story of Philip tonight. Philip is telling us that he got married last year, September, and his marriage has actually been going very well. His wife got pregnant and started bleeding in the course of the pregnancy, and this they were told by the doctor that they will have to deliver through a C-section. He was okay with that, and he called his mother-in-law, that's the wife's mother now, to come and stay in the house with the wife and child, or with the wife at the time, because the baby had not arrived then. So basically, she stayed when the wife was pregnant, stayed till the baby came, and then out of nowhere, she started acting funny. She started creating issues between he and his wife, saying that he's incapable of taking care of the wife, of her daughter and the child. So this was a big deal. And then it was even more annoying because his wife would not defend him whenever she's saying these things. And this is another reason why he and his wife were also having issues. But other than the contribution of the mother-in-law to their lives, he and his wife didn't have any issues. They were at peace, they were fine. But it's only when the mother-in-law comes that all these issues will happen. And then one day he came home to find his wife and child gone from the house. He came home from work to find his wife and child gone. So now he's saying it's been 1 week and his wife and child are not back yet, and his family is telling him not to go looking for them, that he should wait until they come back to him. So he's asking what should he do, particularly because he just had a newborn. So what is your advice tonight?
Okay, thank you very much. This is a case of, as far as I'm concerned, you take my child, which is my legal child that is not supposed to be under my care. You take my child away. I call it kidnapping. Right? Now, for my wife, she left the home, but at least without even telling me her whereabouts. I can also tell me to be kidnapping. I report to the police station. I essentially to report to the police and file a case of kidnap. Because since they didn't tell me the whereabouts where they are, and they didn't even inform me that they were leaving. So the mother, and if possible, the wife can be found. See, the wife might want to go with the mother, but if she can just, at least the child, the man owns, as the other is also entitled to have access to the child, right? And even if the wife wants to leave, there should not be a formal way. Okay, I don't want you, Mr. Philip. Go for divorce, and you guys sign the paper, and everybody get a separate way. Don't just carry my child and leave me. I mean, so I suggest Philip should file the case to the police and allege that there is a case of kidnapping and abduction there. That is for that. Then secondly, if they come back, I mean, it's not left for Philip. You can also take his stand and say, well, Mama, I really appreciate your time for coming to us. That your presence was not really welcome because of the things that happened while you were with us.
While you were here, yes.
Yeah, while you were here. So going forward, I mean, if there's anything you want, you can send across to you, but I'm sorry, we need our privacy. It's as simple as that. The mother should learn to stay on her own. If she wants to come, she come as a guest and keep her mouth shut. But definitely, if there's anything that is not going on well, she can send her own suggestions in a more improving manner. Don't suggest to ridicule, but suggest to improve things. So that's just it. So for me, she just go and file a case of kidnapping and abduction. I'm sure when the mother gets the memo from the police, they will come back with the child. As simple as that.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Thank you for calling. Again, second person saying they should file a case of kidnapping and abduction because the mother basically took the child away without consent of the father. And the mother-in-law actually did the same thing. So, but if they file a case of kidnapping, I'm thinking, how will that play out with the mother in the picture? That's the mother of the baby now, Philip's wife. If it's just that his mother-in-law, that's his wife's mother, took away her daughter, that's his wife, and child, then you can on some level call that kidnapping. But the owner of the child was taken as well. So does that count as kidnapping? That's the question right now. Does that count as kidnapping? Well, Desmond also says that if after doing this they decide to come back, or even if he doesn't do this, but they decide to come back, then it's up to Philip to decide what he wants to do next. If he's okay with the mother-in-law still staying with them, but most likely he will not be. So Desmond is saying he should just tell her to stay away from their marriage, stay away from intruding in their marriage. Any contributions she has, she should talk about it, but if it's not welcome, she can keep it. That she should not just be that thorn in the flesh of their marriage, basically. That is basically what he's saying. To a large extent, the subject of kidnapping and abduction is real. It's something that could definitely be filed against the wife and child, or against the wife and the mother-in-law, because one could say, oh, it's just the mother-in-law that's responsible now, and then maybe she took away her daughter and her grandchild under duress. Some people would also say, oh, but the mother was there, so how could she have done this unwillingly? So it's a complicated situation, but I want to hear your thoughts about it. Do you agree with the kidnapping and abduction way, or do you have a better way of handling this situation that can most likely guarantee Philip's family back to him, his wife and child specifically? So what are your thoughts tonight? Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much for calling.
My name is Joko.
Your name again, please.
Love from Ijoko. Just identify me as Love.
Love from Ijoko.
Actually, that woman, the mother-in-law, should be investigated very well. A lot of things have happened like that in the past. When she would have suspected that the daughter is pregnant for another person, she managed it for another person to marry. Now she wants to get the mother, the child and the grandchild back to her fold. She is playing some pranks. If she's apprehended by the police, she will tell the truth. She knows the truth. And if I also advise Philip should put on a thinking cap and try as much as possible to forget about that lady and the mother.
And his
Because
child?
if he continues that, the child, you have to do DNA. I'm not sure he is responsible for that child.
Okay.
If he was responsible for that child, the wife would defend it. But since the wife refused to defend it, I think there's something fishy. Philip should just stay away, watch the game play out. But if he wants to rush into it, he will get the child. He can get the legality of the child because the wife stayed with him to deliver. And he has the picture, he has the hospital bill, and claims the legality, but it's going to be a problem for him and the family. So he should take the advice of the family to stay away from that girl. Later, the girl will come back in. If she is good, the mother is not palatable again. She will come and beg. That is my submission.
All right. Thank you very much, Love. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right. Love from Ijoko is saying that the mother-in-law should be investigated. He thinks that the mother-in-law has a huge hand to play in this. She has a huge hand in this, and this is basically her doing, like it or not. He is also adding that he doesn't think that this child in question is actually Philip's biological child. He's thinking that there should be a DNA test eventually conducted, because he doesn't believe that this child belongs to Philip. He thinks that the child actually belongs to somebody else, but the mother-in-law allowed her to stay in that house for that long because she was there to take care of her daughter. But he doesn't think that the child actually belongs to Philip, because according to him, if that was Philip's child, the wife, that's Philip's wife, would not just sit back and allow his mother to talk, and allow her mother to talk to him that way in her presence. So he's saying that he really doesn't think that this is the case, and this is something that Philip should look into. He also says that Philip should take the advice of his family and stay away from the wife and child, because truly time will tell what the issue is. And when time does tell, he might realize some certain things that he didn't know before now. What are your thoughts concerning this? Could it not just be that the mother-in-law, that's Philip's wife's mother, has a strong hold on her daughter, speaks for her, doesn't allow her to speak for herself, doesn't allow her to have any opinions? It's just a basically strong personality. Could that not just be the case, as opposed to his wife not being able to defend her husband because the child is not his? Do you agree with any of the scenarios that have been painted so far, any of the pieces of advice that have been given so far? I want to know your thoughts. The line to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. You can also send in your text and WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. This is still Adult Conversations on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7.
We are Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families.
Here is a list of excuses that will no longer be accepted. I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
Oh, I would have recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots?
Oh no! Don't know where my internet token is, and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it? Hey, Jumbo, I said buy data. Without recharge customer, I never ever get change. How good? Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Glow Brody Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later. I beg, I said share your hotspot. This way behind. Make thunder no go fireman. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Have you been a victim of corruption? Do you want to report how corruption affects you and your community? Send an SMS or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537.
My name is Donatus, and I be village man. All of una wey dey like to blame us village people because una business no dey do well. Shey una think say we no get our own issue? Abeg you, village people no get your time o. Check yourself first.
Village people are the reason your business isn't growing. Introducing MoneyPoint, a business bank that helps you realize your business dreams with easy access to quick loans, ease of payment collections, and general business management tools. Visit www.moneypoint.com and let's help you power your business dreams. MoneyPoint, powering dreams.
Guy, if I tell you all this plenty airtime and data, who are they take flex? Dash no dash me, you go believe.
Dash get for this guy economy. I beg it.
Then as I buy my grocery like this, spirit, I first collect 1,000 and welcome bonus. Sarah. As I don't recharge, man, bro, knock me 10 times airtime bonus. I also enjoy double data. Joy.
Wait, you mean 1,000 naira welcome bonus?
Yes.
For 10 times airtime bonus?
Yes.
For double data again?
Yes.
Always universe now.
The globe break the universe now. You want to try?
Oh, no wonder boys are flexing here on top for 247 non-stop.
Yeah. I took
My people, don't let grass grow under your leg. Go get your Glow SIM today. Dial *777# to buy and enjoy 10 times airtime bonus plus up to double data. Also, get free 20,000 naira bonus when you link your NIN to your Glow line. Offer day for both new and existing subscribers. It's game night at the Bensons and everyone's having fun. Then, this.
Hey, son, what's the matter? You too? No way.
Don't let coughs and the common cold ruin your fun time. Texty away formulated day and night syrups provides effective relief from cough and cold. Product may cause drowsiness. Tuxil, the job gets done when the cough is gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never had a snake and whether Saturn and swallow money.
Why? Everything has increased. Conversation, controversial and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays to Fridays, 12:05 p.m.
On your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. Radio Doctor on WFM 91.7 every Tuesday from 10 to 11 a.m. brings you medical experts specialized in women's health.
If you're a 28-day cycle person, just come forward on your day 14, you would ovulate.
Call in to get free consultation on women's health on 07000-917-917 and 090-256-25455. You can send in questions, cases, and related contributions on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WFM917. Text and WhatsApp to 070-317-56537. You can listen live online on www.wfm917.com. Radio Doctor, Nigeria's first free consultation radio health program on WFM 91.7.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks all that means. Because
We should address Nigeria's problems.
This is Panorama.
Mondays through Fridays from 9 to 5 a.m.
WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Twenty-one minutes to 7 on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. This is still Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and we discuss matters relating to the heart. My name is Somto Titilayo Ajama. Yes, tonight we're profiling the story of Philip. Philip is basically telling us that he got married last year, September, and his marriage was actually very good. His marriage was going well. Everything was fine. His wife got pregnant, and during some bleeding, or in the course of some bleeding during her pregnancy, the doctors told her that she was going to have to deliver through cesarean section. That's a C-section. Now, that wasn't the issue for Philip. That wasn't an issue for Philip, and so he contacted his mother-in-law to come and stay with them so as to take care of the baby, because he wasn't usually around, being that he was always headed to work. And in this situation, the mother-in-law found that okay, and she came to stay with them in the house. Everything was fine as well until the baby came, and then shortly after, she started acting funny and creating issues between Philip and his wife, talking about the fact that he is incapable of taking care of her daughter and of her grandchild. And in this situation, she was tired of it. And this includes taking care of herself as well, that he was incapable of taking care of her as the mother-in-law as well. So this was not a situation that was palatable for Philip, but this was something that would always create issues between he and his wife, because his wife would actually not defend him when her mother was speaking against him. So this will always cause issues between them. But other than that, other than the mother's occasional intrusion here and there, their marriage was pretty good. And then one day, Philip went to work only to come back and find his daughter and child gone. And he says that it's been a week now and he's still not found them. He doesn't know where they are, and his family, his own immediate family, his family is telling him not to go look for them, that he should just wait, that they'll come back. But they're not coming back anytime soon, or they're not back yet, and this is very worrisome for Philip. But he's asking, my family is saying I shouldn't go look for them, that they'll come back. But they're not coming back. So what should I do? This is my wife and newborn child. What do I do? Go ahead and call us on 07000 917 917. I believe very strongly that Philip is listening tonight, and so he can take your advice or not. But it's very important that you give him advice tonight. He's torn between what his family wants and what he wants, and the issues between his wife and his mother-in-law. He doesn't know what to do, and he needs the advice. 07000 917 917. That's the number to call. You can also send in your text or WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. All right. I'm going to quickly read some of these messages off of the Adults Conversations Family WhatsApp group, and then I'll go back to the phone line. Okay, this one is ringing. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Am I speaking to Lady B?
Yes, so.
How are you doing tonight, Lady B?
I'm okay. Happy New Week. Oh.
Yes, so happy New Week. Thank you for calling.
How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm good. Thank you.
Always looking forward to hear your voice.
Thank you so much.
To come up with new issues.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I have some questions to ask before I say my own. Did the guy pay normal bride price as he ought to before any other thing? Did he marry the woman properly?
Yes, he did.
He did the normal thing?
Yes, he did.
Okay, so that means that something is just not right. If he did the normal thing, he should go and tell them if the father is still alive. If the girl's or the lady father is still alive, he should take some of his family and go and meet him and tell him all the problem, all the situation that I left my wife at home before I could come back. This and that. And then I think the mistake he made was that he allowed the mother-in-law to overstay. When he started noticing such things, such behavior coming from the mother-in-law, there is no way the girl, the lady in question, will say that she does not know the behavior of her mother. You understand? There's no way. You know, we married people, we used to assume that my husband may not know the character of my sister-in-law. So if I said it, they know, but it's just that they want to protect them so that there won't be any disrespect coming from either the other side. They know themselves very well, even before you marry them. So there is no new story that you tell them about your brother. You don't know. But it's just that everybody wants to protect. You understand? So there is no way he could have told the lady that, I think your mother has overstayed. When the mother started showing those characters, that your mother has overstayed, I want her to go. Fine. Then he didn't do that. That was the thing. He allowed too much of all these things that So the mother was taking time poisoning the daughter's mind. And the lady is somebody that listens to her mother very well. She's not the type that would say, no, mama, you can't do this. No. She's disobedient to the daughter, to her mother. So it was easy for her mother to enter her and spoil her marriage without her knowing that what the mother was doing actually was to destroy her marriage. So now, her mother is helping her. It will be some issues that they discuss. They discuss some issues that come to disagreement for her to leave the house. So if the guy can go and meet the parents, the mother, the husband, if the mother was not involved now, it could have been all different issues altogether. But since the mother is involved, that this leads to this, there is more to it than the guy is, saying. So the guy should go and tell the father, this and this are what happened. And she should leave the matter just like the way the family told him. If it were not that because the daughter was involved, a newborn baby was involved,
yes,
I would suggest he just stay back and watch. But because of the new baby, he should go there with his family and tell them that this is what happened, and come back home and drink her water and drop cup. Leave the lady. The day she will come with a newborn baby, they should go for test to confirm it, if actually it's a baby or not, if it's baby or not. If it's not the baby, we should wish them well and say you can go back. But if it's the baby, collect the baby and tell the woman to go, because she is not someone you can keep at home and trust her. She has broken that trust, and what she did is very, very, very bad. So that is my own take. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lady B. Thank you for calling. Interesting take there. Lady B is basically of the opinion that this is actually a very unique situation, and she's talking about this from the perspective of the family. She's looking at it from the fact that the family cannot act like they don't know that this is how, the wife's family particularly cannot act like they don't know that this is how the mother is. She's blaming Philip for allowing the mother-in-law to stay that long in that family, in that household, in their married household. He's saying, or she's saying, that the reason for this is because, particularly when you saw the signs, some of these fights that she was causing, some of these issues that she was creating in your marriage, as soon as you saw these little things, you should have just told your wife, I think your mom has overstayed her welcome and she's creating fights between us. This is not something I appreciate. So we might have to tell her to leave, particularly when the baby had come, the bleeding had stopped, and, hopefully maybe she was getting better. But he didn't do that. And Lady B puts that one on Philip. She's also saying that they can go talk to the father. That's his wife's father. Now, here's the thing. The father is not directly in the picture, and this is as a result of the fact that they had issues when they were growing up, the wife's father and mother, that made the father leave the marriage. I think he married somebody else, and the mother refused for him to be a part of the child's life. And basically, I think the daughter also didn't want the man to be a part of her life anymore. So this is basically the situation. He wasn't even there for the wedding because the mother just didn't want that to be the case. They didn't want that to be the case. So I'm not sure talking to the father would be feasible at this point, except now you want to bring him into the picture and try to use him to, sort things out at this point. All right, I see the phone lines buzzing, but there are also some messages, so I'm going to go through this one really quickly. All right, this is a message coming in from, you didn't put your name, please. Okay, yes, Ubang Etefia from Ogba. He says, Philip should go and meet his in-laws as a responsible man. No matter what they may do, they will still remain your in-laws. Your wife may be naive and follows her mom's advice, but as long as she is the mother of your children, she loves you. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Go and hear from them why they left without informing you. Even if you are right, don't trade blames. Rather, accept responsibility for you to reunite with your wife and child. That is the most important thing. May God help you. Thank you very much, Ubong. Thank you for that message. All right, very quickly, this one is coming in from OK. OK says, Are you both legally married? Traditional church or court? I mean, did you pay her bride price? The answer to that is yes, he did. If your answer to that is yes, then your mother-in-law does not have any right to take her away. If she has a phone, try and call her. But if after investigation her number isn't going and her whereabouts is not known, please report to both families and the police station. If she says you're incapable, that word is a serious allegation. So you have to ask yourself if you're really meeting up with your financial obligations. If you are not meeting up, that's another thing that may cause the issues, because some mothers no send at all. My brother, be strong. It's one of those challenges. Thank you very much. Gideon from K2 is saying, give them some time for now. Later, you can go with any of your family members and bring them back. Assure them that you will improve in taking care of your wife. When everything is settled, never again allow your mother-in-law to stay with your family anymore. She should visit and go without staying for a long time. All right, so the message I read earlier was from Onyedi from Lagos. All right, Gideon, thank you. Onyedi, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Please keep your messages coming in on the group chat and as well on WhatsApp. 0703-175-6537 is the number to send your text messages and WhatsApp messages to. To call and let us hear your voice as well as your advice, the number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. What is your advice to Philip tonight? It is a very tricky situation, particularly because there's a newborn involved here. So our initial caller, Young, said, she's actually capable of taking care of the child. By she, he meant Philip's wife, who is with the child now, as well as the mother-in-law. So he should not really be bothered about who will take care of the child. She can take care of him. The problem is, why are they not coming back home? Why did they leave in the first place, and why are they not coming back? Hello, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening. It's Lady B calling, but I didn't get the father's side of the story. So that means that the girl is actually loyal to the mother. The mother serves as father and mother. Girl.
That's right.
Yes. So I think there's something the mother saw that she looked at it and said, "This is not what we bargained for," because she needed somebody that would take care of her when she's old. And if she comes to that house and those things are not in place, she will decide for the daughter. Do you understand?
Okay.
So that guy should check himself very well. What did she do? What did he do? Or what is he not doing that will lead to all this? And then she should first of all go and report this case to police. So, since the father is no longer involved in that woman's life and all that, report the issue to the police so that in the future, near future, they will not use it against him. So that you have evidence that when I came home, I didn't see my wife. I went to the police station to report before any other thing. And apart from that, he should check himself. Is he financially going taking care of them? The wife and the kids when the mother-in-law was around? What was he not doing well? He should work on himself during this period before the wife comes back. If not, he should find something better doing. I think that could be the issue. Because the mother doesn't want to, after taking care of her own daughter for so long, then they come and what they wanted will not be. That kind of person. So women, they don't used to pick that in and keep and see. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Lady B.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's the father's perspective. And I mentioned this earlier, but I'll repeat it. Because of the father's seeming absence in that family, the mother was actually the one who stood as father and mother for the child, for her daughter, on the wedding. So in the preparations towards the wedding, everything that they were supposed to give the father and parents of the bride, all of that went to the mother. The mother was largely in support of this wedding. As a matter of fact, she stood strongly for the marriage. She was very much in support of the marriage, and everything was fine at the time. So this is why Philip is relatively confused at the way things have turned around. He doesn't really understand what's going on. But according to Lady B, she's thinking that maybe when the woman went to live with them, she realized that, this man may not be able to cater for my daughter and my grandchild, and she decided to do something about it. Now, was that right? Most definitely not, because I mean, your daughter has made a choice. You agreed with this choice previously, but on one hand, you could say that she still wants the best for her daughter. Is this the best way to go about it? I'll let you respond to that. The number to call is 07000 917 917. Sending your text and WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Santo. This is Young calling back.
All right, very quickly, Young. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, let me respond to Miss Lady B's submission. This woman has dominance over the family. She separated from her husband, took her own child away, and refused the father access to the child. That is the same thing she's trying to introduce to her own daughter. Let it not be as if Philip may have his own weakness. That is the fact. You can't dispute that. But the mother has a kind of generational. If you trace to the mother's family, her own parents might have had this issue in her time. So that's what she's trying to pass into her child. So that's why Philip has to be very plain to himself, be open to himself, go to the police and report to the welfare department of the police. Adding to what the other caller, I think the second caller said, the person that called immediately after me, saying that make a report in case of adoption, illegal adoption, and not let them be. In case anything happens, so that it will not backfire on him. It is a family trend. It's a family trend, and he should not allow such a thing to come into his family. It's just like somebody on a text message. Yeah?
Okay. I was about to say that
if they come back, he has to test whether if he has the ability, because I know it costs a lot to go for paternal test. If he can do that, let him do that. If the child belongs to him, just let the woman find her way. If he doesn't, just let him be. Just be on your own. So let him prepare himself that anything can come out of this issue. Either total reconciliation or total separation. So let him brace up for the worst. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. So this situation, Young has said, okay, maybe because the mother actually separated from her own husband, and that's possibly why she wants the same thing for her daughter. Because possibly, okay, maybe things might not be going financially amazingly right now with the family, with her daughter's husband, and this new family that her daughter has married into. Maybe everything is not going very well as much as she would have expected. But Young is saying, is this reason enough to take her out of the house because you want better for her? This is something that you did, like you separated from your husband. Now I have to say this. The fact that the mother separated from her husband and did not allow access. Now, if I remember this story correctly, we actually profiled this story. We profiled this story in Adult Conversations, this very story. But this was before they got married. This was last year. This was before they got married. And I think if I remember this clearly, and Philip, if you're listening, please call back. Call in or send a message to clarify the story so that we can be sure of what's really going on. I think the father cheated, got a new wife and a different family, and the mother wasn't going to stand for being maybe a second wife or something along those lines. And that was why she left the marriage. So this is not a function of, the woman wanted to leave or something. The man did something that prompted that leaving. So let's be clear on that. That may not have been the best choice, or that may have been the best choice for her, but is not the best choice for her daughter at this time. So I just needed to put that background out there. So what is your advice tonight for Philip and his wife? For Philip specifically, because he's the one that his family is gone. He's the one that came back from work one day and did not meet his family, his wife and child anymore. So what do you think that he should do? 07000 917 917 is the number to call. Send in a text and a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Santo.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. May I know your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Genga from Anagoni.
Hello, Benga. Thank you for calling today. Hope your day has gone well.
Yeah, very well. On yours too.
Good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. I actually have a female case. Yes. In my own case, my mother-in-law went to my baby as well, and then amazingly, in all and all, my wife and I only stayed for 4 months.
Are you still together?
No. We've been separated for 5 years now.
So you literally only lived together for 4 months?
Yes. So she was pregnant all the while, and then when she was to be delivered of the baby, I was in the hospital.
Okay.
And then it was 2 years as well. And then after a few days, the mother left with her daughter and my own daughter as well. They left. And then I was equally denied of the naming ceremony. Now, my advice is this. For Philip. Hello?
I'm with you. Your advice is this. What's your advice?
My advice for Philip is this. You should not make any step of reporting the case of abduction. You should make any step of making a case of abduction to the police. The reason is just this. If he does that, then you should forget about his wife. Because if he does, there's not going to be any good relationship between his wife and his wife's family. Rather, he should take his time. He should make calls and messages to the wife, asking her questions, and he should make sure that he keeps track of every detail, of every conversation that he has with his wife. And he should prepare his mind that in case this lady doesn't come back, what next is he going to do? And for those saying that one day the child will know the father, it's not as easy as they say. Because the child needs bonding with the father. So if the father is denied of his daughter, I wonder what kind of life, I wonder how it's going to be convenient or easy for the daughter.
Okay. To complete your train of thought, Benga, if you can call back, please go ahead and do that. If you can call back, please go ahead and do that. But to a large extent, what Benga is saying is he doesn't agree with the kidnapping / abduction filing of that case in the police station. He doesn't agree with that because he believes that would basically send the wife further away than bring her closer. So this would possibly be something that would prove to her that and the mother-in-law now, this is something that will basically prove that, oh, this man doesn't love you, this man can't take care of you, why will he be going to the police? And before you know it, it's sending her further away rather than pulling her closer to the family or to Philip as he would have liked. So Benga is saying, I don't think you should do that. He's also saying what you should do is something similar to what I believe Young said earlier, which is track the messages, ask her questions, track the messages. I think I got that in a text as well. Track the messages, let them know, let it be used because it could be used as evidence in the future. But ask questions where she is, message her, call her, and track these things and keep them somewhere so that you never know if the need for it will arise any day. And if it does, you'll be able to present these evidence, basically. This is basically a very interesting story, and Philip is in need, actually. Right now, he wants his family back, but he doesn't know how best to go for that outcome. He doesn't know what to do specifically that will get him his family back. And that is where you come in tonight. Philip is telling us that he got married last September, and everything was fine. His wife got pregnant, and then she registered some bleeding during her pregnancy, after which she was told that she would have to deliver through a C-section. Now, because Philip works, he told his mother-in-law to come stay with them at their house, at their house. Yes, the house they moved into when they got married. That he should stay with her daughter in that time. So the mother-in-law stayed. She stayed during the pregnancy. She stayed till after the baby came. But shortly after, she started acting funny, creating all these issues, specifically talking about one of the biggest issues we're specifically talking about was the fact that Philip was incapable of taking care of her daughter and her grandchild and even herself. So she's talking about, Philip, you're not taking care of my child and my grandchild well. You're not even spending on me. You're not taking care of me. You're not giving me anything I need. And I'm old and I have to go through all of this. So basically, she was painting that picture continuously. And his wife would not say anything. Philip's wife would not say anything. She would not defend him. He got upset at this, obviously, and this will cause issues between them in their marriage. Now, Philip is saying, apart from his mother-in-law's continuous issues, he and his wife were actually very fine in that marriage. Only for Philip to go out and come back one day from work and not meet his mother-in-law, his wife, and child anymore. As of now, it's been more than a week, and Philip is saying that they're not back yet. His family is telling him not to go looking for them, that they will return. But he is of the opinion that he needs to go find them. But he's now torn between what to do and how to do it. So Philip wants his family back, but his family is advising him against going to search for them. So he's asking, what do I do? So what do you advise that Philip should do tonight? The number to call is 07000 917 917. Send in your text and WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. Please call back if you can. I'm going to read these messages off of Facebook. Otumba Orisumbari says, you didn't send her away. Leave her where she is for now. If she wants to come back home, she definitely will. For posterity's sake, kindly inform the police, just for information's sake, because you don't know what your mother-in-law's next move is. Oh boy, love is good, but please don't kill yourself, because if you die because of a woman, she will remarry and move on with her life. So that's coming from Otumba Orisumbari from Facebook. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Could you turn down the volume of your radio, please?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
So how are you doing today?
I'm all right. Thank you so much for calling.
Good. Okay, my name is Onyedi. I'm calling from Lagos.
All right, Onyedi, thank you very much for calling. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I actually sent a message earlier on, but I guess probably because it's long, they could not read it out. First of all,
I actually did read the message. I read the message earlier on in the program.
On ground,
yes.
I want to say that, unfortunately, Philip wasn't sensitive enough. The plan of that woman to take her daughter out of that house is not something that just started suddenly. That thing has been unplanned. So he was not sensitive enough to have realized that, maybe because he was carried away, overwhelmed by his work or something. That's clear his own side. Now, for the mother now to have taken this girl out of her marital home, it is illegal. Someone said something earlier on that, mother will not like their children to suffer this, that. Excuse me. Before your daughter will bring this man to you as the moment, this is the man I want to get married to, you should have asked her some certain questions. Are you sure you love him? Are you sure he can take good care of you? I was not there. I wouldn't know. Maybe they met each other from church and all these things because religious has caused so much in a way. Now, if they've not been able to see it from that angle, now eventually they are both married. And now this woman has to take both of them out of the guy's house to wherever she's staying. It is wrong. Very, very wrong. Spiritually, it is wrong. Biblically, it is wrong. Legally, it is wrong because both are married. She should be staying in her husband's place. Now, someone also said that he should make a statement at the station, which I also said to. It is very, very important. He needs to go there, make a statement down. The fear of losing the woman is not the issue now.
Okay.
The fear now is what is going to happen in the future. Because the ground of this woman is, I took her away because he cannot take care of them. But that's not the issue. They are both married. And marriage stays for better, for worse. And again, Philip should not stop sending money for upkeep to this woman and the kids. He should not fail. No matter how small, Whatever his strength is, he should keep sending to her. He should not wait until she asks him, send money for food, send money for this. He should send as when due to them. So that in record, and not by cash. Let it be on transfer. Not by cash. So that tomorrow, when issue is coming up, he will be able to defend himself. Now, the woman said, or the alleged accusation is that he can't take care of them. Not taking care of somebody's relative. The question is, what does the woman mean or mean by saying that he cannot take care of his woman? Before she arrived in their place, both of them have been living together, eating it together, and facing it the way it's coming. So why would she not say he's not taking care of the woman? So the advice, the bottom line now for me, advice for Philip, let him go to the station, make a valid statement, and let him have a report on that, one. Then two, let him go to mediation. They will come in between and give him legal advice on what to do. Of course, they are going to invite the mother, mother to the place. They will invite her. The three of them will sit down, and she's going to say why she felt Philip cannot take care of his wife. And then his wife will be able to say if Philip cannot take care of her. So these things are very, very important. He should not just sit and say they will come back one day. No. He should make a move now.
All right.
Station.
Thank you very much, Onyedi.
And he should not fail his responsibility.
Thank you very much.
Have a lovely evening.
All right. Okay, so he does make a valid point as regards the fact that some things need to go into record so that if eventually in future there are conversations about him not making any moves, not attempting anything, then all these things in record will prove that he actually did something about it when he came back home to meet his mother-in-law, wife, and child gone. So Onyedi is basically saying, yes, number one, go to the police station, file that statement, file that petition or court document, something that basically says that, oh, this is what happened. Fill that statement, write it down, let it be filed for you, so that in future, if this ever comes up, it will be clearly stated in the police records that on so day, you actually came to file a complaint, you wrote a statement stating the fact that your wife and child were actually gone from your house. Most likely with the contribution of your mother-in-law. So to be clearly stated there. He's also saying, whatever you do, keep sending money for upkeep to your wife and child. Keep sending money for upkeep to your wife and child. He's saying, don't send cash. Don't try to make any cash, or don't try to find them and give them cash. Try to stay on the transfer route. So keep doing transfers so that you have evidence of these transfers over time. He's also saying whatever it is that you have, whatever little it is, just send it. And then he's also saying concerning the point that Philip was not able to take care of his wife, that's relative, which is true. The ability to provide is relative. You can look at somebody who earns $1 million and say, oh, this person is a huge provider. And then somebody who earns $1 billion will probably look at that person and be like, yeah, I don't think so. If you bring it down to Naira, somebody who earns 500,000 Naira in a month would seemingly be a really big provider. But somebody who earns $1 million Naira, $1 million plus in a month, would be looking at that other person and wondering, how are you surviving? How are you providing for your family? So it's relative. So he's saying that Philip should visit the police station, file the statement. He should also get a mediator, somebody who would be the intermediary between himself and his wife's family, so that they will invite the wife. She'll be able to speak for herself and say, oh, is he not taking care of me? Is he not doing this? Is he not doing that? And they would have the conversation. At the end of the day, it's not be decided on whether the family should stay together or not. But at least this is something that would have been born out of consistent conversation with the wife actually speaking up at this point. But regarding the fact that the mother-in-law has planned this exit for a while, we can't say that because we don't know for sure. We don't know if this is the case. We don't know why she's doing this. So let's not say things like they're fact when they're not. Let's not say things like they're fact when they're not. Hello, good evening. Hello, are you there? Hello? Please call me back if you can. please call me back if you can. It is 15 minutes past 7 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and this is still Adults Conversations, where we share real life issues and we discuss matters relating to the heart. So, what is your story tonight? What is your story? You can send in that story to 0703 175 6537. We will profile your story when you send it in. We'll contact you for more information, put your story together, and profile it here on Adult Conversations. If you have a story to share, please send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. In the meantime, what is the advice for Philip? Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good evening. This is Blessing.
Hello, Blessing. No problem. Thank you for calling. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm just coming back from work. So, my advice to this man is, first of all, the way I'm seeing this story is this mother-in-law, he wants his daughter to become a single mom like her, because first of all, some mothers are praying for their children to get married. So I don't see the reason why you come and take your daughter and a newborn baby away. So what I'm doing, where I'm heading to right now is, if this man, before this man will do anything, he needs to have a report. Like, he has to report this to police station in case for tomorrow. For me, I won't say that go and take your wife or your children. What I'll tell him, just have a report and make sure that you are sending money to her to take care of your child and all that too. Because you don't really know if this child belongs to you for now or not. So keep on sending money to them, taking care of your child. Anytime you meet your child, tell her that you want to hear your child's voice and all that. So from there, later, I'm sure that the lady will realize her mistake and she wants to come back. Anytime when they come around, just go to us, tell her that, okay, you need to, let her know that, because what she did, she not even respect you, that why will your mother be insulting me and you are still supporting your mom instead of you standing by me? And I am like this, even if my boyfriend is alone, I won't allow someone to be saying what trash on me, top of my husband. So the woman, the lady know what she's doing, or maybe the wife even said some things to her mom that made the mother be reacting that way about the man. Because I didn't see the reason why you be insulting your son-in-law and your daughter. Your daughter is not saying anything about that. But if the lady decided that she wants to stay with her mom, that means she's ready to becoming a single mom. So, like her mom. Because first of all, even when they were getting married, if the father wasn't there, there's another person that was there as a father for the lady now. So, if you can report to the man also that, okay, when I was getting married, I know you as this, my wife's father. So please see what is going on before anything. So that's my own advice to him.
Okay. Thank you very much, Blessing. Thank you for calling.
All right.
Interesting point of view there. Basically, the only thing that stood out, and that's because what she said earlier, what Blessing has said is basically supporting some of the previous callers and their points of view. But she's adding that Philip can also contact the person who acted as father for his wife on the day of the wedding. So whoever feels in that position. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know who that person is, because it was implied that this mother-in-law acted as father and mother for her child. So chances are that if anybody did this, that person is probably from the mother-in-law's family and not necessarily her husband's family. So that might be the only clause. That might be the only thing that can be hard to pin down. So basically, is she still saying, continue sending money for upkeep, don't forget to file, because in future, you really don't know what will happen, why you will need all this evidence. You really don't know what will happen. Okay, off of Facebook, this one is coming from John Mark. John is saying, I don't settle matter like this, Taya, and my solution to all is, bros, relax your mind and stay cool. If your wife and mother-in-law think because you're not always at home to look after wife and your baby, that means you're not capable of taking care of your family. So be it. Let her take care of her daughter and your baby. After all, she's even easing out some burdens on you. But always call, visit, and send whatever you have for the upkeep of your wife and baby. And make it clear to your mother-in-law that you will not allow anybody to have your child, not even her, no matter what. Okay, this one is coming in from Shegun from Ojodu Braja. Shegun says, would say you think it twice now. I bet she's your wife and now your property. I bet go and use all the things you have to bring her back to your house. I bet the mama don't. After you pay all the bride price, they say now waiting, carry your property, Jare. Adebe Chidindu says, leave her to her mother for now. All right. Chris Ianobong says, please consult your family and her family elders for best advice. Please consult your family and her family for good advice at this point. All right. Kevin Ice Image says, let them be. Don't call or pick their calls. Don't send money until they tell you the reason why they left your house. So these are two different points of view here. Anyhow you look at this situation, Philip's family is not with him. And this might last for longer than we anticipate if nothing is done about it. Now, what is to be done about it is the crux of conversation today. That is the meat of conversation today, because it's the advice here that would most likely determine what Philip would do. And then when he takes that action, when he decides on what to do, then however things will now play out is dependent on time, dependent on fate, dependent on just circumstances. There's nothing anybody can do about that. But it's important that we lend advice to Philip's plight at the moment. This is why this forum called Adult Conversations is here. This is why this program is here. So that when situations like this, real life issues like this come up, we can actually give advice and we can do our best to help this situation. You can never tell whether your advice will be taken. Even if it's not taken, at the end of the day, you've done your best by contributing and giving advice. And that is all that we ask of you tonight and every other night on Adult Conversations. So the truth of the matter is there's so many situations that can contribute to this. We're not in the mother's mind. And I need to point out, because everybody keeps saying, oh, the mother-in-law, the mother. Truly, she might have, in fact, as a matter of fact, she does have a big role to play in this entire situation, particularly because of the background of Philip's wife. You know, with the whole, her father walked away with another woman, and now the mother had to leave the man and basically take care of her children by herself. So this woman has basically built her life around these children. And now that she's getting older, one would think that, oh, okay, these people can take care of me and all of that. But that doesn't necessarily inform her current actions. That does not necessarily say that this is the specific reason, because we don't know for sure. Chances are that that's the reason, if we're being honest. Chances are that that's the reason. But there are also chances that that is not the reason. She might have seen some other things within that marriage that maybe doesn't go well with her. And she thought, okay, maybe talking to my daughter within this marriage, within this space, might not be the best move. So maybe I take her out, talk some sense into her, then maybe discuss what to do next. She may not necessarily be promoting that her daughter leaves the marriage so that she becomes a single mother like her. I don't think it's anybody's desire to be a single mother. People only settle for that choice at the end of the day because of circumstances that revolve around their childhood, revolve around men, around their dating lives, and all these other things. Nobody sets out, or I believe that nobody actually sets out saying, I want to have a child by myself. Because like it or not, you need a man. Whoever the man is, if a sperm donor, you need a man at some level, or at least on a basic biological level, to contribute to that child even being born in the first place. So, whatever the case is, it's definitely one that requires very delicate pieces of advice. Nobody wants to be the one to break a home. We don't believe in broken homes here on Adult Conversations. So, what is the advice tonight, and what is the advice to Philip going forward? This one is coming from Benga from Alagboli. Benga says, "Good job you're doing, Somto. Thank you very much. God bless your home. I was in a similar situation, and a friend of mine is also in it. I want to know if she moved her things. If she did, was it some or all? If it's some, then it's most likely she will come back soon. But that would also depend on if he himself calls her and checks on her. He needs to check on her and the baby regularly. He should also keep track of conversations and visits as well for future reference. He should ask her questions on why she left for future reference. In my own case, I had lawyers who wanted to detain my mother-in-law, of which I declined because it only complicates issues. The mother has a strong hold over the daughter, just like mine, and the daughter doesn't have a say of hers. And the truth is her mother probably acted based on what her daughter had been telling her. Yes, this is another school of thought that a couple of callers have mentioned today. Do you agree with this? Do you agree that it's most likely something that the daughter was telling her mother that informed that shift from being in support of the marriage, being the one who was promoting them to, hurry up the marriage and get together and marry and start their lives, to being that person who basically doesn't want her daughter and grandchild to stay in that marriage? What could have prompted that change? He should also pray and involve his family and go visiting the wife's family to plead with them so that the elders of his wife's family can talk to the woman. This is not the time to claim rights or push wrongs to anyone. It is his home and he needs to protect it by all means. Anyone who hasn't been in such shoes would not understand the impact. Mine is 5 years now without my wife, and it's not been easy. God will help you, my brother." And this is coming from Benga from Alagboli. This is why I say that it's important that we approach this with so much compassion and just being very delicate about it, because you don't know how things will play out. You don't know what things are. You don't know the true situation of things. Now, Philip is messaging and he's saying it was actually his wife's younger brother that acted the role of her dad on the wedding day. It was actually the wife's younger brother that acted the role of her dad on the wedding day. So if you were thinking that, they could go talk to the father and the elders of that family, then maybe you need to have a rethink, because right now that father was acted by his wife's younger brother on the day of the wedding. So, questions that have been asked so far are: did she move out her own things as well? So when you came back and you didn't meet your mother-in-law, your wife and child, did you see that their luggage had been gone? Was your wife's luggage, was it gone? Your child, all the things you bought for your child, was it gone? So let's understand that. And the message I just read says that if she took some, then maybe she's going to come back. Maybe she plans to come back. But then again, that doesn't say. That might just be that, because there was no time, she couldn't take everything. So depending on how you look at it. Philip also says he actually contacted the younger brother, the wife's younger brother, who acted as father of the bride. He contacted him, and the younger brother was insulting him, telling him not to call them again. I don't know where to begin, and I don't know how to phrase this, but the truth of the matter is, this is a strong bond between the members of this family. And the mother has a strong hold on this family, as we've all established. Is there anything that the father can do at this point? Did the father willingly walk out of his wife and on his wife and children? That's the mother-in-law and her children. So what exactly is the case right now? So they're gone, you want them back, but we don't know how to go about it. This is where Philip needs your advice. This is where he needs your advice. Please do well to send in your text or WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. You can also send in your text and WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. I'm expecting your calls as well. The phone line is 07000 917 917. This is very much still Adult Conversations on your Women Radio WFM 91.7.
It's the bomb.
It's the bomb, baby.
We're bringing it to you live.
Human Radio.
91.7.
Mr. Johnson, I'm here for my money. Baba landlord, I'm very sorry. My wife is very sick and I have spent all the money I have. I've been telling you to ensure the health of you and your family with a reliable HMO. Reliable HMO? Which of them can I go for? Ice Medicare HMO Limited. They are one of the accredited health maintenance organizations with thousands of quality and accredited healthcare providers nationwide on their network. They have corporate plan, retail plan, student plan, and even community-based health plan. Also, their premium is pocket friendly. Please, where are they located? Their office is located at number 2 Osho Street, Okpebi Link Bridge, off Okpebi Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Their phone number is 080 93 555 863 or 080 32 63 9058. Their website is www.ivesmedicare.com. Ives Medicare, health protection in your corners.
Is this a mistake? What's that? What happened? See, I just bought 1,000 Naira Glow data, and instead of the usual, I got 3.9 gigabytes. Guy, I swear, that's how I saw you too. I bought 2,000 Naira data yesterday, and I got a whopping 9.2 gigabytes. Wow! Glow data is just always bigger. Yep, and always better. I swear down. Babe, why are you moving your SIM?
I'm leaving this network and getting a Glow SIM immediately. And I'm not giving you my new number. You're on probation. Why didn't you tell me about this new Glow data plans?
Glow new data plans. Always bigger, always better. Babe, sorry now. Yes, get a Glow SIM card today and enjoy bigger, better data on the Glow network. Just dial *777# and choose your plan. And if you link your NIN to your Glow line, up to free 20,000 Naira bonus awaits you. Unlimited.
Are you searching for durable, guaranteed, elegant, affordable home products? At Eleganza Industrial City Limited, we put you first. From plastic chairs for adults and babies, party tables and school tables, disposable plates and cups, as well as reusable plastics, food warmers and cooling boxes, trash bins of various sizes, baby diapers, lady sanitary care products, luggage of various sizes, hair threads, and lots more. Eleganza Industrial City Limited has got you covered with our elegantly designed products in unique shapes and sizes. Visit us at kilometer 68 Lekki Ekpe Expressway after Eleko Junction, Ibeju Lekki, Lagos. Or you can call 081 801 99999 or 090 914 73665. Or you can send us an email at eleganzaindustrialcity@yahoo.com or info@eleganzagroups.com or sales@eleganzagroups.com. You can visit our website www.eleganzagroups.com. Eleganza Industrial City Limited. The name is our guarantee.
Here is a list of excuses that will no longer be accepted.
I beg, give me your hotspot. I want my data, but this one is too much.
Please, could you put your Wi-Fi on? I'm out of data and the recharge card seller has closed.
I'll get recharged though, but I can't find my wallet.
Please, I've got cramps and I can't get up. Can you share your hotspots?
Don't know where my internet token is, and I need to quickly buy data. Please, could you share your hotspot till I find it?
Hey, Jumbo, I said buy data, but that recharge card I know they ever get changed. How good do
Now there's really no excuse to ever be out of data with Glow Borrow Data. Dial *321# to borrow data now and pay later.
I beg, I share your hotspot. This way, make fun and no go fireman. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Table time,
Now, wow, you just can't stop sucking your baby's body. Oh, my dear, can't you see my baby skin? You never had nappy and heat rashes, but ever since I discovered baby Tributan, my skin has become as smooth as velvet. No more nappy or heat rash. Really? I remember. Tell me more about this baby Tributan. Baby Tributan is formulated for baby's tender skin to provide effective action against nappy and heat rashes. Use baby Tributan today and discover the secret of velvety baby skin.
Tributan, a product of Fitsin Healthcare PLC, contains clotrimazole and Istamol. Always read product leaflet.
Oh yeah, give the left and right, that's.
You think you know Nigeria's biggest cheese?
This guy is the problem.
Then get in the ring on the Big Cheese Show every weekday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WFM 91.2.
Female genital mutilation, FGM, is a harmful practice that affects women and girls. Let's talk FGM every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Together, we must fight against FGM and end this harmful practice in Nigeria. Let's talk FGM, Wednesdays, 2 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Let's talk FGM is supported by Haiti Health Initiative.
Our world is threatened by terrorism, wars, killings, and various vices. Its effects are mostly felt by women and girls. Peace and security is a collective responsibility as it concerns women, girls, and boys. Join WANEP on Women's Voices for Peace every Tuesday at 3 p.m. on Women Radio WFM 91.7 as we engage on issues of women, peace, and security. On Women's Voices for Peace on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
23 minutes to 8 on your Women Radio WFM 91.7, Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families. Of course, it's still good to have you tuned in to Adult Conversations, where we share real-life issues and we discuss matters relating to the heart. If you're just tuning in, you're welcome. Tonight, we're profiling the story of Philip. Philip is telling us that last year, September, he got married, and his marriage kicked off very nicely. Everything was fine until his wife got pregnant and started bleeding in the course of the pregnancy. The doctors said that she would have to deliver via C-section. Because of this, Philip invited his mother-in-law to come and live with them to take care of his wife, as he was usually busy. So she did this and she stayed even after the baby came. Then, for some reason, she would just flip and create issues between he and his wife, calling him incapable of taking care of her, that's the mother-in-law herself, her daughter, that's Philip's wife, and her grandchild. And now his wife would not defend him in any of these cases. So Philip says he came back from work to meet his mother-in-law, his wife, and his newborn baby gone. Just gone from his house. It's been more than a week now, and Philip's family thinks that he shouldn't go to look for them. He should wait because they'll come back to him. But if they don't, he shouldn't go looking for them. He's thinking, these are my family. This is what I know. This is my wife and my child. Why would I just leave them? But his family is saying, stay put and wait. You don't know what the case will be. Just stay put and let time do what time will do. But he's asking, what do I do? My heart is telling me to do one thing. My family is saying do another. And the whole situation is very, very just dicey at the moment. So what do you advise that Philip does? What do you advise that he does right now? What do you think he should do? How do you think he should approach this entire situation? His mother-in-law is being problematic towards their marriage, and this is a reality that he has to face. A couple of callers have said, "Oh, the mother-in-law left with your wife and child." Then file a case against your mother-in-law for kidnapping and abduction. File a case and let it be clear in the records that you actually filed this, because you never know what the future would bring. A number of people have said, if she eventually does come back, make sure you do not take her back without doing a DNA test for that child, because chances are that child is not yours. If that child is yours, your wife will not just sit back and let her mother tongue lash you without saying anything. So a school of thought believes that's not Philip's child. So he might need to do a paternity test to prove that, if they decide to come back, before taking them back. Too many schools of thought so far, but what is yours? What is your school of thought? What do you think concerning this? What do you think that Philip can do that will bring about the best outcome? What do you think that he can do? 07917-917-917 is the number to call. You can as well send in a text or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please, I need more volume from you. Your voice is very far away. Hello.
Good evening.
Okay, good evening. Much better. Thank you. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
My name is Veronica. I'm calling from Angola.
Okay. Thank you very much, Veronica. Please go ahead.
My advice for him, you should, according to other callers, you should go to the police and say, report the case. Because nobody knows tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And you should always put it in prayer. You pray. There's nothing God cannot do. You put it in God's hands. And if you go to from the soil, give a piece of advice. I can go through. This is what to do. This is what. If he's doing the wrong thing, you know that he's doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. If he believe he said that he's not doing the wrong thing, he's doing the right thing. So he can still send money to them to prove that truly I really love my wife and my child. So if the mother-in-law separate them, you cannot separate them. You should just pray. There's nothing God cannot do. You should pray. That's just my piece of advice for you. That's my kind advice. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Veronica. Thank you for calling. Okay, to add to everything that has been said so far, Veronica is saying you should pray about this. You should pray about this. Philip, pray, and pray. Pray until something happens. Now, that is actually a very important piece of advice, because sometimes when we're backed against the wall, when we don't know what to do, when we're out of options, we really think that all hope is lost. But sometimes all you really need is to call on the name of your creator and you'll see a change. So thank you very much, Veronica. Thank you for that. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for calling. What's your name, please? Where are you calling from?
My name is Akorede. I'm calling from IKD.
You're calling from where?
Ikorodu.
From Ikorodu. Thank you very much, Akorede. Please go ahead.
I think it's not. It doesn't go into the matter of going to the police or divorcing. I think the first thing you should do, you should go to the mother-in-law's house.
Okay.
And confirm if the wife is dead and is kid. You should try to find out the reason they left the house. If there can be what they can do to bring them back, you should do it. Mm-hmm. But if it gets there and it feels that they have made a decision to move away from his house, then so be it. They can confirm the paternity fee of the child. If it is, he should take the child and move on with his life, or keep the child with the wife and send money for the upkeep. I think that is just the simple thing it should just do. And if after that, it should just find a divorce.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Akorede. Thank you for calling. So Akorede is adding that the subject of going to the police and filing a suit or doing this or doing that, writing a statement, it might not have come to that. Or if you never reach that side, I beg go. Now it's Akorede to talk with that. I beg go. What he is suggesting that Philip should go to his mother-in-law's house first. Make sure that his wife and child are there. See, that point is so important because we may actually think that that's where they all went to, only to be that is actually not the case. So Philip should go there and at least confirm that his wife and child are with his mother-in-law. So at least if that is confirmed, he can now know what to do next. And he goes on to say that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy looking at the current situation of things and all of that. But, going to the mother-in-law's house and trying to find out what's really going on is the first step in the right direction. That's the first step in the right direction. So he should now decide what he wants to do. Either he wants to do the DNA test or he wants to just figure out what he wants to do going forward if the child turns out to be his. So there's actually more in this story that we might not be able to take, and that's because we're running out of time really fast. I can still take about one more or two more calls at the most. So please, if you really want to speak, get calling now. 07000 917 917. Send in a text or WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Oluwasegun.
Your name again, please.
My name is Fumilayo Oluwasegun.
Okay. Hello, Fumilayo. Thank you very much for calling.
Yeah. What I can say about this issue is actually the first step he needs to take for it is to look for his wife and the child and make sure they are okay. But I believe there is actually something going on there, something going on the feeding line, because the wife can't just leave her husband without any issue or anything. If she actually truly loves the guy, she won't just leave on the mother situation like that. There's actually something going on. Like the first person said that the child might actually not be for Philip. So if they actually came back, you need to go and do DNA test for the child. That's the first confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you actually seek them to come back and they actually deny not to come back, then you should let them be. That's all. And you should remember to pray about it. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much, Fumilayo. Thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
This is yet another person who is saying, if things don't go according to plan, you might as well just need to move on without this family. He's also saying, give it a try and visit them, try and figure out what the problem is. The wife cannot really be in that position where she can't speak. She has to be able to say something. So he's thinking, try and talk to her. Let's somebody at least let you in on what's really going on. And it will shock you that the wife, yes, the wife in question, Philip's wife in question, it will shock you that she's actually not happy with the result of things. She's not happy that her mother-in-law contributed or on some basic form convinced her to leave her marital home. So it will shock you that she is not happy about it, but she's only dancing to the tunes of her mother. She possibly has her own plans at this point, but whatever the case is, this is something that is not easy to speak about, not easy to address. And a lot of the time it's in that family setting that one can really place what is what. There's a Yoruba saying that goes awarawa lanshirawa. Like now we they do our safe. Now we they do our safe. There's another one that goes kokoro tonjefo idea follower. So the point remains that the thing that is going wrong with you, with this family in question, and I'm looking at it from Philip's point of view, who says that it's shortly after his mother moved into the house that all of this roller coaster began. So chances are that the mother is a kokoro that is disturbing their effort at the moment. So that adage basically says the insect or the mosquito or the insect that are biting or chewing on the vegetables, they're at the bottom within those vegetables. I'm sure that's a direct translation, but you get it. It's basically saying the thing where they do it day your body, you sabi waiting they do you. So at this point, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has called in so far. To everyone who has called in, to everyone who has sent in a text or a WhatsApp message. Thank you for all your contributions tonight. I'm sure that Philip will be grateful for all of this. Thank you, and thank you again. Just to round off and to give us proper perspective, Philip actually said she walked away with everything. So to answer the question earlier about did she take some things or did she take everything, she actually took everything. She went with even the church wedding certificate and the court wedding certificate, and of course everything that he bought for the baby as well, leaving the house unlocked when they all left. So he says he was financially down during the course of her bleeding. He spent all his life savings on her due to all the health issues that she experienced when she was pregnant with his child, and her mom is aware of this. So he's upset that after he spent all that money on her health and the baby came successfully, they're now calling him an incapable man. And this is very upsetting for him. And now his wife and child are gone. So as we round off, let's understand that this is adult conversations. Real life stories are being shared. And Philip is actually really in need of your advice. So given all the advice that has been laid out tonight, I'm sure that Philip will be able to take an informed decision from the advice that has been given tonight. This is a very hurtful story, and we can't really determine what goes on next, but we've done our part by contributing and giving advice. So join me again tomorrow, same time, same station, on Adult Conversations. Thank you very much to you. Thank you very much to the engineer on duty. My name is Sunto Titilayo Ajama. Good evening.
If you love us, like us.
And if you don't love us,
Like us.
It's facebook.com/WFM917.
if you want to see what we look like, subscribe to our channel on YouTube.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WFM917.
Yes, it's me and you, show me the world I'd be without you, baby. Come home, baby, come back and be the first to say sorry. Let me come back and be the first to get wrong. And I'm waiting, still waiting for you to come home. Imagination starts to run wild. I don't know
Broadcasting affects your life in so many ways. If you're offended by anything broadcast on this station, it is your right to complain to the station